In today's fast-paced business world, the marketing landscape is just really undergoing a lot of transformation, and our customers' behaviors are also changing. All right, so we need to literally, stand still in order for, to run 1,000 miles an hour in order for us to stand still.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. Well, this brings me to the part of the session that I have been waiting for tonight, and that is introducing Prosper Taruvinga. He is the founder of Live Long Digital. It's an SEO company, and they are helping businesses throughout Australia, I think also globally, to really understand what SEO is, get maximum benefit out of it, and to really sort of grow their businesses using a medium there that just never goes away. So as we know, sort of when you appear in search, it's all free. You're not having to pay for it like Google ads. It is, or Facebook ads. And in fact, you don't even need to use social media as well too. So Prosper was telling me about that, in our session. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say about that. For those that haven't met Prosper before, he is a dynamo. He comes from a small town in Africa. Would you believe there was a teacher from Australia who went over and were teaching at his school, and I happened to mention that there is this country called Australia, which has got so much opportunity and so many prospects over there. That really ignited his passion for business, and actually ignited his passion to come for Australia. So he thought, a little while later, he jumped on a plane with literally just the shirt on his back, some change rattling around in his pocket, ended up in Melbourne, and he sort of set up roots here in Melbourne, and he has really sort of established himself in business in Australia, and he's just become a legend in doing what he's doing. So it is my pleasure to welcome to our show today, Prosper Taruvinga. So everyone, please give him a warm round of applause to welcome him here today.
Now, Nick, thank you so much for that for that intro. Half of the time when people talk about you, you start looking around the room and you're like, who are they talking about? Do they also have the same story as I do? So I really appreciate what you're doing. And I also want to acknowledge a few people that I know here. Paul Schiff, it's been a while, sir. Jeff Summers, my man, thank you so much for joining us today. Janine Vospa, so good to see you. You see, I was just looking at everyone in the room and I was just like, it's a mixed bag. And this really is a cross section of what the internet has become. All right. So it's a mix of people that are creating for and relating to their audiences. And as we all congregate into the one space or the one platform that everybody, goes to all the time, it becomes a little bit crowded and a little bit messy. But I hope I'm here to sort of, what's the word for it? To just dismantle that atomic bomb that seems to have been rearing its head for the past 18 years. I think ever since anybody really knew what the internet is all about, and it's to do with search engine optimization. All right, so today we're going to be diving into the exciting world where actually SEO now meets the cutting edge of technology, which is the new beast or the new elephant in the room, which is AI. And as we navigate in this space, a lot of people are getting more and more confused. And I'm actually advocating to say, you know what? This is the easiest time. When the .com era came through, it was one of those times where everybody was confused. But now it came in at a time when we knew what we were doing, we knew what we were all about. All right, so Nick, if you would allow me to share my screen, I would just maybe sort of get started on this small journey of ours, because I think what we now have, at our realm is what we now call the future of search. Gone are the days where it had to come from one platform. Now search comes from many a platform, and we need to be able to know what we're exactly doing instead of just spraying and praying on the market and then eventually giving up, not having done much. Okay, so today I'm going to be touching on what we now call the future of search, which AI has come in, and we need to embrace it, not be very afraid of it. And in a few moments, I want you to discover how AI is actually enhancing us to get more market insights, streamline our communication, and also transform the way we are connecting with our customers. All right, so you will be surprised. Today, we're not going to be talking much about the technology. The most technology you're going to hear about is what Nick was talking about earlier on. So if your head is already turned into a pretzel, let me try and unravel it or untangle it, so to speak. I'm actually going to be talking about embracing a marketing philosophy that does not come from any marketing book, but it actually comes from what Nick mentioned to you earlier. My little country town in Zimbabwe. All right, so we exercise a phenomenon or a principle called Ubuntu. I don't know, in the chat there, has anyone ever heard of a phenomenon called Ubuntu? If you know what it is, can you type in the number 1, just so that I know the room that I'm in? All right. Libo knows, Black knows. Black, if you could just unmute yourself. What is your understanding of what Ubuntu means? Or is that sorry, Black. Libo, can you explain to us what your understanding of Ubuntu, please?
I'm not sure. Shall I admit? Maybe it's love to sharing love with other people, and like just like with nature as well, and just to be like in the same energy. Maybe not in full, but again, like it's yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So it's along those lines. It literally translates to I am because you are. So in a sense, right now I'm speaking because Nick has created this audience. Nick has a platform because you guys are on that platform. Had you guys been out there doing what you want, with your life, none of this will be happening. So we literally have to respect that. All right. It's not, a matter of taking advantage of the fact that we've been in business and now we feel entitled that our customers are going to stop whatever they're doing and jump onto our offers, stop whatever we're doing and jump onto our Facebook ads or Facebook or TikToks if anybody else is doing that. All right. So now let's jump on this journey together. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys who's here. 7 o'clock is usually bedtime for my kids, and I also respect that it could be bedtime for each and every one of you guys. So I want to make sure that your time is not wasted. You actually walk away here with value that will literally, I'm hoping, change the way, if not the way you do business, the way you actually connect with other human beings. Because in this world, we're being bombarded with all these tools that are literally separating us a lot more than they are connecting us. And if we can take it upon ourselves to literally start going in and start connecting with and relating to our audiences, then we will actually start reshaping our marketing approach. We no longer have to worry about all this AI or algorithms. We now just really have people that are willing and able to work with us. And it's super, super easy if we show up first. And if we show people that we're here to help them by actually helping them. So if you guys are ready to understand what I actually learned as a kid growing up, this would probably change the way you actually do business. And when you then put AI on top of that, my word, things will actually explode. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, all right, is AI has completely changed the way search used to be. As you can see, we've entered a world where you're no longer searching for the things that you're looking for or you want to buy. Customers no longer search. It used to be people would log into Google maybe 13 to 14 times a day just to look for, certain things or type in some keywords. But now People are no longer searching, but they are asking. So what that means is our products, our services, our goods, everything that we're looking for no longer is, you know, being put out there for us to reach out, let's say at a marketplace or at a shopping center. It literally is being delivered to us. Look at, you know, some of the things that you've ordered recently. Amazon literally comes to your doorstep. Food actually comes to your doorstep. Everything is now coming to our doorstep. And if anyone hasn't figured out bringing something to your doorstep, then obviously they're not participating in the economy that we now have right now. So I like Tom Fishbone. He puts out very funny ads, but this is actually very true. And I mean, these are cartoons that he's saying. So what he's saying is search is now AI powered. And this guy's like, okay. And instead of results, I'll just give you an answer. So that's exactly what's happening to us every single time. Whenever you type into whatever AI tool or whatever tools that Nick was telling us about, it's just giving us an answer of what we're looking for, right? Especially like the one where Nick puts in a photo of himself and it gives him an answer of what he could look like. Nobody asked for Nick to look like a king. Nobody asked for Nick to look like, you know, a gladiator. But AI is now thinking, maybe you would like this, maybe you would like that. And that's the level where we should start thinking. Maybe that's how our customers are being served, especially the information and content that's out there. Okay, so when they keep tapping, maybe you're tapping onto ChatGPT and then it spits out some gibberish and you're like, no, that's not my style. And before you know it, ChatGPT says, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you anyway. I don't need to know a lot more about what you just give me a few inputs, and then it brings in a little bit of a version of what you had asked for, but it's still pretty much the same thing. And then ChatGPT says, you know what? I actually ordered these for you yesterday. They're being delivered now. And before you know it, you already have something from ChatGPT, sometimes that you didn't ask for. And that's the reason why a lot of people are now being very, very confused. And I want you as the business owner to really take full ownership and control of who you are, who you're selling to, the pain points of these people, and actually give them a payoff that they're willing and able to pay for. That is the only way we can now have customers that are willing to talk about us even at a barbecue, or leave whatever they're doing at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. at night, just so they could come and listen to what value is being disseminated to them. All right. So that's the reason why I'm saying when we start respecting people's time, people's ideas, people's intentions, this whole thing about wanting to game the algorithms and the systems will be something that we don't need to worry about anymore. You know why? Because we are helping them actually go to where they want to go. And if we are helping people, solve the problems that they're solving, guess what happens? They literally, will sing our praises to their friends, and they become the customers that pay, stay, and refer. All right. So the reason why we're all here today is because I don't know if you guys know, but Google lied to us. I don't know if you actually know about that. And if anyone would want to maybe call them up on that lie, I'll be more than happy to give them all that evidence. So they blatantly lied for us for the past 12 or so years that they were in business, that all the information on the internet is derived from them. But do we all know where that information was coming from that we were busy typing into Google and hoping we could get answers from? Do you know where that information was coming from? Can you guys type it in the chat box there, please? If you know where all that content was coming from, please let me know in the chat box there so that I would know the kind of people that I'm working with. Absolutely. Nick says everybody else's website. Fantastic. So we were supplying all that content, and yet we had to earn our way to be found when we have been the people supplying that information. So at the end of the day, they profited from our work. I'm starting to think every time a robot tells me to try and look at those stairs, or if it's a bus or traffic light, I think they're actually training AI for when cars are self-driving. Because at what point am I going to need to control AI to inform it that, hey, wait a minute, this is a traffic light. Hey, these are stairs. This is not a zebra crossing. So I think we have already been training this AI, and it's just been delivered to us because somebody is able to package it. So for us to take our power back, we literally just have to keep doing what we have been doing, which is create for and relate to our audience. And half of the time when people go online to search for things, they're already searching for products and services and people that they already know, like, and trust. Or if anything, they might search things in the sort of realm of what it is that you do. And if you present your website and your content in a really good package, then they will absolutely get to know, like, and trust you. And we all know that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to be doing a lot of technology. I mean, all that I think has been done already. Where we are now is a matter of really getting the grasp of what we're being forced to respond to, because nobody asked for all of this technology. It was just imparted on us. Now, by the time we go off this call, there's probably going to be 25 new tools that are even designed to take my job away from me. And if you really think, of it, it just really, really makes it difficult for people to know how they can plan for their future, how they can plan for their own business, just simply because most of these things are just being done by people that just want to make a quick buck without actually considering, are we actually on board with everything else that's going along with this? All right. So this is what happened before. All right. Since the turn of the millennium, we were given a verb that was called search. All right. And it has dominated every interaction that we have to do on the internet. And we're inputting words into a little box on the internet, which is the ugliest website, if you ask me. Nick, have you seen the Google front website? And just look at what they've done. They haven't even bothered to change it or anything else. They just like type in those words in this box and we'll figure out the rest. Okay, but in the last year, and I think it was around November 2022, AI has actually, forged ahead a move towards using a new verb that will now redefine our digital experience. And that new verb is ask. All right. So before AI, we used to search, but now everything we're doing is asking. Hey Siri, hey Google. And I'm sorry, they're gonna respond because they're overactive, these little animals in my room. But we're asking questions. So once you know that is where we are at, it no longer is about supplying answers or about supplying results. We're now needing to give answers to our audiences. That has now become the new frontier. So as the verb has shifted from search to ask, this has a lot of implications and downstream consequences for a lot of people that are going to be using the internet. All right. Where is the nearest, butchery? Where's the nearest shop? Where's the nearest dentist near me? All of those searches. Now, what people are asking, and they're just probably doing it from their mobile, and they're probably just doing it from their little gadgets, and they're being given and fed those answers. And guess what? All of those answers are still coming from our websites. So ask is a very different preposition for everyone because it implies a deeper understanding of the intent of the user. May I ask you a question? May I ask you to help me? You know what I mean? The person has a choice whether to say yes or no from that. So whatever comes, because ask is an open-ended question. So that now presents a really big problem for us as, content providers and, business owners, because we now need to fill in that gap that AI has created in the internet. So if we were going into the internet with, okay, I hope people are going to search for digital marketer, I hope people are going to search for lawyer, people are now asking, what should I do when I receive a letter like this? And we now need to be present if we want to stay competitive. because there's a lot of personalization that goes in when somebody's asking a question. And the fact that our phones have a black screen, it automatically means the person thinks they're anonymous. So people can ask whatever they want. And those that have won the race and started answering those questions using their content or using their social media posts and things like that, those are the ones whose information will now be brought forward to those people. So if we understand that shift, that we've gone away from the search economy, now it's the ask, right? People are asking questions on the internet. Are we answering them? So if you really look at it, asking is not searching. And people now want a direct answer to what they're asking, not more questions. What we were giving them before was a Russian roulette. If somebody would search, then you would have 10 different options where, this could be near you, this one, an answer could be in Brisbane, and it wasn't really relevant. But if somebody says, hey, my tooth hurts, who should I talk to? What should I do? They're going to need a relevant answer. That automatically comes with a booking form, which allows them to then book. All right. But I don't think we're here to follow every trend, every AI tool. Like, let me tell you something. Now, ChatGPT has opened the third largest app, platform or marketplace, which means there's now just going to be a barrage of apps. Anyone who can think of anything that can be created with ChatGPT is going to be putting it on there. Have you ever tried to download an app from the store and just give up because every one of them is just vying for your attention there? Now, can you imagine with AI? The apps are literally going to be created by AI, but we only need to now start focusing on what we can control. So going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier on, at a very young age, I really realized that, my gift was to simplify things in life. All right. I just had to learn one thing. I had to learn one language, and I had to come to one country, and that was it for me. And marry one woman. Well, I've got 2 kids. I think I missed the memo on that. But for me, it's always been about simplifying things, because so many things are made complicated for no apparent reason. I viscerally believe in life we're here to live, to learn, and to contribute. All these other hats that we're wearing, if you really want to see, most of them, we didn't even need them during COVID. Most of them were non-essential. Like, for real. So my biggest passion in life is just helping others do the same. It's getting noisy out there, and we have now become experiments, and we're all but internet explorers, just trying to find our way home, just trying to put food on the table, just trying to pay a mortgage, just trying to put Sally through college. I don't know, maybe some of us are hoping that they want to, create, the next Amazon or whatever it is. I think that ship has sailed. If anything, we just want to create for and relate to our loved ones. Make sure our health, our wealth, and our well-being is absolutely great. And I don't think anyone is waking up every single morning trying to figure out, okay, so there's 10 new AI tools that I need to learn today. Right, so which one do I start with? If you guys are doing that, hats off to you. Well, there's another hat to take off from my picture there. I really appreciate that each of us as business owners, I think we wear too many hats. And with all this tech and marketing talk, it's very overwhelming. I live in this space and I have unsubscribed. I literally have unsubscribed. I'll be showing you and telling you how I'm getting by. And I'm still showing up in places like this, not because I'm everywhere, but I'm strategic in the way that I'm now approaching the internet, because now it's just become too dangerous for our own well-being. And I believe we're capable of extraordinary achievements, and that the world really needs your gifts. It doesn't need you to be head deep trying to figure out how to sort out NBN, Nick. That's not your calling, And you know what NBN actually stands for? No bandwidth network. We've already lost. from the get-go. You know, if somebody works for NBN, please don't send your guys over here. This is just my own thinking. But does it all make sense? So I've created a process, and I've aptly named it the Online Prosperity Blueprint. It's the easiest 4-step process that I usually work with people to, you know, generate more income, build wealth. And it's usually done in 10-year increments. And in this, I've helped, I think, over thousands of people achieve life-changing results when it comes to business, making money and investing. And I'm hoping today I might be able to change yours. If you scan that code there, you'll be able to grab a copy of that, you know, blueprint, and you will see exactly how easy it would be, whether the AI changes tomorrow, whether algorithms change tomorrow, your business will remain the same. Your customers will remain the same. You just need to understand what is your, you know, involvement in all of this, and don't get sucked into the void of these black screens, because what it does, it's literally taking our souls and giving us nothing but a bill. I saw my phone bill and my internet bill, you know, last week. I almost cried, because I've got kids that play Roblox, so they usually suck up all the internet, you know, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, shut it down, you know, but then I don't want to be that guy. So I encourage you to download this, and as it will inform your marketing strategy moving forward. If you want this, just let me know in the chat there, and then I will probably just send you through the copy if you didn't manage to grab that. Okay, so basically, all right, I know you guys have been asked this question before, but could you please, by a show of hands or ones in the chat, how many of you guys here are already incorporating AI into their business, and they're not just dabbling, but they literally have AI on another screen open, ready to go to ask questions or to actually start working, you know, as they start their job? Jeff says, what? Hook, line, and sinker. They got you, mate. Okay. And in today's fast-paced business world, thank you so much, Nick, for that. In today's fast-paced business world, you know, the marketing landscape is just really undergoing a lot of transformation, and our customers' behaviors are also changing. All right, so we need to literally, you know, stand still in order for, to run 1,000 miles an hour in order for us to stand still. So that means you looking at what AI can do for you, not what it's doing to you. All right, and then you can now start using it to enhance the various aspects of your marketing, and understanding, first of all, what your audience is doing, what they're looking for. And there's usually one question that we all just need to ask, right? We just need to ask that one simple question. What do I want my customers to ask me to do for them? Like literally, if somebody shows up on your website right now, do you implicitly know what you want them to ask you to do for them? And if you know that, maybe type in the number 1 in the show notes there. Because we are now at a position where we literally have to show up, help people by actually helping them. And I know Paul says he knows what he wants his people to do for them. Maybe Paul, because most of your clients are already dead. I don't know if that was a good joke, but I can't see.
That's all right. I have had a couple that were not quite, but they were just getting ready.
And did you just help them? Absolutely. All right. So from today on, if you're going to be taking any notes, this is the only notes that I want you guys to take. SEO is no longer all about search engine optimization. You are simply educating others. So you're teaching people what to want. You're teaching people what to ask from you, where to find you, what to expect when they start working with you. You're literally showing them you can help them by actually helping them. It's no longer about trying to trick the system or whatever it is. You know, I thought I would be able to do that even if it killed me. I almost called Paul because the the way these things are moving, it's just so Paul. No, it's not time yet. I think I'm still like, you're holding on to the business is calling. If you try to work with these algorithms, they will literally leave you for dead. And the one thing about these algorithms, I only just realized that, I think it was Facebook, I'm not quite sure, you guys can look this up. These platforms are maybe 21 years old or so. Can you imagine what you were doing at 21? You hadn't even figured out yourself. You're probably still partying, drinking, or whatever it is. So you hadn't actually figured out yourself, and you're expecting people to put their whole livelihood on somebody who's 21 who hasn't actually figured out what it is that they want. In America, you've probably been started drinking since the last couple of days legally. So at 21, these platforms have already caused so much trouble. What we can possibly do is really sit down and find out, what do our customers want from us? And then let's go out and simply educate them. So the motto now is, don't tell people what to do. Start answering their questions. Know their needs before they ask. And you do that from your own platforms. Right? You do that from your own website. You do that from your own content on your socials or on your video on YouTube. I'll be talking about how to disseminate all of that. But the theme of what I'm talking about, especially when you're educating others, is don't tell, answer their questions, because you're the expert. You're the one that knows. People are coming to you to ask questions about how to make sense of whatever solution that you're providing. So you better be the one that gives them that answer. So what Google was doing earlier on was giving us the impression that there's a whole line of girls just sitting there waiting for you to type in something on Google, and then they're looking through a library and looking for information and then handing it over to you. And we thought that was it. And they were taking advantage of that because they had the machine learning that we didn't have. So Google has been optimizing for this already with its helpful content updates. So people in the SEO sort of side of things, we get updates on what's coming. So it's not a surprise, for us, because they just want to keep us in the game. So basically, rather than just listing what it is that you do on your website, your business should now listen to its customers, record and maybe evaluate that data and answer their needs intelligently. Okay, so here's 2 actionable ideas that you can actually implement in pretty much less than a month. You can start developing an FAQ focused section on your website. What are people asking you the most before they get to talk to you? That in and of itself will start creating so much internet karma, that when people are asking those very same questions, Google will now just come straight to your website and present that as an answer, because they're also getting lazier. So if you want to get ahead, you might actually start using that AI to answer those questions that your customers are presenting and put them on your website. That way you are now creating, feature-paced content. So this section on your website will now provide dynamic conversational sort of responses to the user, queries. Because remember what I said earlier on, people are no longer searching. They're now just asking, and they just want an answer. So if you're a poll, for example, somebody would say, okay, so do you want to come when, the procession is already started, or do you want to start when people are, within the motorcade? All of those answers, all of those questions people might have. How many hours do you want per day for this to happen? If it's going to be, maybe Zoom or whatever it is, whose channel are you going to be using How do we pass that link to everybody else who's going to be attending the funeral? All of those questions people already have, and they're already asking those questions. So if Paul would take an afternoon and sit down and answer those questions, it's like literally, and I'm going to say this with utmost love and respect, whether you're religious or you're not, Jesus would say, you know their needs. I know their needs before they ask, or something of that nature. So you want to know ahead of what the people are asking. And since we're sitting with these customers day in and day out, ask them all those questions that we're asking them in the discovery call. We need to have them already presented on our website. That way, people come in fully educated on who we are and how we can possibly help them. Because if you're not going to do that, even the chat GPT is not going to help you in this instance. So you want to create your own internal wiki, and using customer feedback. The very people that are paying you. If somebody pays you today or tomorrow, sit down with them. Like literally, Nick, why have you paid your month's bill? What is it that we have done? How can we make it better for you? People who want you to stay in the game, guess what? Will tell you. And just start asking for these insights, and then use the AI against itself. So Paul said he wants to know X, Y, and Z. How do I answer such a question? You use that, and then you put it in your frequently asked questions on your website. Now, we used to have maybe 10 frequently asked questions. If you can really populate that into a page in and of itself, you have created a wiki that your competitors will never imagine to actually create. So this is what I do within my business. Within my business, I speak to 5 new people every single day, and I'm interviewing them, for my daily show. I will, if I still have time, I'll walk you through what that entails. So during that daily show, I'm literally asking them, who are you and why should anybody care? Why are you doing what you're doing? Right? And in that instance, people will now start talking about things that are never on their website. And then I literally put them to the side and I said, everything that we spoke about today, go and put that on your website, because your customers are asking those very same questions. And if you have done that, you literally have made it good for yourself. I want to give you an example. When I started driving, cars didn't have power steering. And, you literally had to, the stick shift, move it to the other side. And, I don't even know what it's called anymore. Paul, help me out here. What's that thing you move so that you change the gears, and you have to use 3 pedals to change. So it literally was, you're playing, I don't know, Russian roulette. You didn't even know what you were doing, trying to look to the side, and everything was happening all at the same time. But today we just go into our cars, and literally some of the cars, they automatically just start by themselves. And even when we're reversing, you don't even need to look backwards anymore. We didn't ask for all of that. But the car manufacturers knew our needs before we asked, and they created it for us. Now you walk into a city, if it's cold, like in a Melbourne morning, and it starts to freeze, it actually, hits you up there. We didn't ask for that. But they thought ahead. They went and solved for that issue. Now it's there. We can't unsee it. We now look into everybody else's car. If I go into my friend's car and it's got really cold seats, I'll be like, bruh, you didn't get the memo. Seats are warm now. So our customers are coming from a space where other businesses have thought in advance their needs before they asked. So when they show up in our doorstep, we also need to have that frequently asked questions in order to create for and relate to them. I don't know if there's any questions, chuck them in the notes there. Otherwise, obviously, we can't, this is all new for a whole lot of us, or very old, but we're just trying to remind each other, as we are all internet explorers, just walking each other home. All right. Okay, so maybe your role or your business doesn't necessarily entail that you educate people because that's where your money is at. Okay, simply entertain others. People come to the internet to get educated, entertained. So what are you doing to keep their attention? We're busy scrolling through other people's feeds. What are we also giving our audience? So this is where it now comes to the place where we say, don't show, share. So all the recent trends in like social media and video have actually, they've been indicating, and a lot of people have been interacting with brands so much that, you know, if you're buying anything online, you literally want to be on their Facebook page for customer care, just to make sure you know when the thing is get delivered. So brands are getting personal, and our customers are also expecting the same from us. So how do you entertain them? How do you get their attention? Because attention is now a currency while they're waiting. How are you showing them that they've made the best decision buying from you? What are you giving them to validate? Because once they hit click, money, send, what now? Do I know if you're the real deal? Where did my money go? Are you keeping us engaged so much that we want to know more about your story, what it is that you're doing? So that's where some of those AI tools that Nick was talking about, the video, and I think the Epic Superstar will come in, or the repurpose of our content. Because also, the way these platforms have integrated, there's no longer a distinction between Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever it is. Each and every one of them is now a search engine, because we have been feeding these platforms with information so much. They are now just a catalog of all our data. So while they're waiting from our website, they want to know, did I just pay my money to these people? Is it going to work? Are you entertaining them? Is there any interactions on your website where maybe they can discover more products? How are you doing that? Is there a positive customer story that they can just latch onto and go to sleep at night, that at least this is going to work? So you can try using AI to get, utilize, the posts on your social media, get customer feedback, and then create that into posts that they can use. Or maybe you're not an entertainer. Maybe you've got a really serious topic like what Paul does. Okay, fine. Right. What are you doing? Simply enable others. Are you enabling them to mourn their loved one in a way that you are not creating yet another problem while they're going through their hard time? Enable people to go from where they are to where they want to go, utilizing your service or your product. So this is where you no longer have to literally sell to people. When people know who you are, they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And we all know that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So there's no more selling that's involved. You no longer sell. You're now just persuading them based on, the information that you're putting out there. And if you have noticed, all of this stems in you being a giver, you being respectful of somebody's time, somebody's attention, and just wanting to make it super easy for people to do business with you. And this is where I was talking about, the whole philosophy that I was brought up around, which is the Ubuntu, which we're not getting into now. So if you want to, you maybe have a takeaway right now, create a sales process which makes it super easy for people to know what the next step is. And you can do that through your content. It's easy when you can predict your customers' needs. You now provide them with a personalized product recommendation, because yes, we go into our websites and create funnels and things like that. Customers don't see funnels. Customers see good customer care. We are the ones that see the funnels behind the scenes. Think about how Amazon shows you what you might want next and how achievable it can be for you immediately just by clicking a button. One click. Get them what they're asking for, because they have come a long way. All they just really want is a a solution to their problem. So while you're working on your SEO or whatever it is, just look at your omni-channel, all the external resources, evaluate what happens when people have initially stepped into your scene. Is it easy for them to find a button that they need to take to go to the next portal? And anytime that there's a sales glitch or whatever in your system, just find out, what question am I not answering? So if you would know, I don't know if this is big enough, but I'm going to read it out for you. So we have now come from where we no longer have the zero-click search. You know how we used to type in a keyword, you know, compassion specialist or LinkedIn specialist near me or whatever it is, and then we click on the links. Now we've got what's called the zero links. Users are now using search engines to just surface an answer rather than clicking through to a website. That's what they need. And if you've got your frequently asked questions, that will automatically drive them to your website, answering those questions. And I think it was in 2022, SEMrush found that 25.6% of desktop searches lead to a click, and 17% on mobile lead to a click. And this year, ChatGPT has really seen a 15%, has really made a 15% drop in the click from people searching to actually clicking to go through to a website, because everything you can find in a simple answer that ChatGPT is providing. And all that information, ladies and gentlemen, is still coming from our websites. All right. So we now have what's now called a search generative experience. This is what is sort of coming up in the future, but I will explain to you what this means. All right. It's likely that algorithm traffic, organic traffic on Google is actually going to dwindle, because a lot of people are fighting for that coveted #1 position in a world where that place is becoming less and less available. Have you noticed that on Google now you get like a map section, then you've got ads, and then you've got 3 or 4 frequently asked questions sections, and then you now get the organic search. So organic ranking no longer really matters. We now need to go in and start answering questions for our audiences, and most of these questions will now be picked up maybe by our Google My Business profile. So our customers are now looking for what's called a search generative experience, SGE. So sites that currently perform well with SEO will automatically get a lot more traction in the new world, because that's where all that information is being gathered from, especially with, you know, tools that already are generating content for people. So algorithms constantly change, and us as marketers, we already know the algorithm giveth and the algorithm taketh away. Nothing stays as it is. But this shift feels a little bit different, because people are no longer even going to the actual Google page. So it's getting harder and harder to be seen out there. So AI optimization is now becoming the new, search engine optimization. And what does that mean? We now need to really use other AI tools to do competitor analysis, find out what are our competitors doing and what are they creating. And then we can also maybe create something not copying, but similar. That way we've got at least a competitive advantage. Geographic insights. What is it that is unique about the area that you operate in that makes it, that makes it really, really easy for people to, just want to work with people that are local to them, especially if your product or service is about delivering, or if people need to walk in to your practice like a dentist or something like that. And there's a new kid on the block: real words and real context. What are the actual words that people are using to search for what it is that you are talking about? I don't know if you guys can see, but I've got these African teeth that have got a gap in between here. And every now and again, some people are like, oh, why don't you get it done by a doctor or a dentist and things like that? And sometimes it gets to me, but I'm not that vain. All right. So usually when I'm walking my kids to school, I walk past a dental practice and they've got a big sign outside that says new patients welcome. But you know what? I've actually asked another dentist how much it would cost. This is a $15,000 job to literally get it properly done. If I really wanted to do it, veneers and all that bling. And maybe I'll put the gold plates. Paul, what do you think? I'll put the gold ones and diamonds in there or whatever. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. All right. But I don't identify as a patient. So this doctor is watching $15,000 walk past every single day, because they haven't really used the real words and the real context of how I'm defining the problem that I have. So can you imagine how many people are walking by your storefront right now just because you're not speaking the language that they understand? I know Paul is just thinking, oh, wait a minute, what is this guy talking about? But I just spoke in my language saying, if I started speaking in a language that you don't understand, are you going to understand me? And that's exactly what we're doing with our website and the content that we're putting out there. We haven't taken the time to literally understand what our customers want from us and how we can solve their problems. So once everything is in place, all you got to do is go out there and clarify your message. This is not news, guys. What is the actual compelling message that your customers are looking for? How are they going to know they've arrived at the right provider? So you want to start tailoring your message with those frequently asked questions and really, really showing up in where the conversations are happening and really understanding what it is that, they understand their problem to be. And once you're there, be omnipresent and maintain a level of consistency, because obviously nobody wants a one-click wonder. We all want people that are consistent, that we can rely on, that we can call upon whenever we need them. And you can use that with your with the AI. So AI has given us a few media choices that we can use these optimal platforms. Find out what you're good at. Are you good at voice? If you're good at voice, there's podcasting, right? If you're good at writing, there's blogging. If you're good at video, don't go to Paul. If you're good at video, go on YouTube. So we now have all these platforms where we literally can find that one place that we're really good at and really claim that territory, instead of trying to gain the system, trying to be visible on just Google. If you're a good podcaster, by all means, Amazon is there, Spotify is there, your own platform is there. And it's very cost effective if you're niched in. You no longer have to pay those hefty ads from Google or Facebook. I don't know if anyone is still doing that. And you literally start doing effective lead generation because you are, creating for and relating to your audience. And once you're there, all you're now doing is just turning those prospects into leads, because AI will now help you with segmentation. You efficiently start identifying high potential leads, and you start writing answers that they're looking for online, which is basically what we need to be doing all along. And I was talking about this a little bit earlier on, where once the people have showed up, at least we need to give them something to feast on. We can't invite people to a party and then there's no food on the table for them to eat. So we now need to design a seamless customer journey that they can follow through step by step. And we need to have an understanding of what that looks like and how we are the right kind of person with the right kind of, product to put their pain away. And in the process, you start increasing your conversion rates and return of investment. And once people have shown up, You build them. All right. You want to start turning those people and converting them into people that that pay, stay, and refer. What else do they want to buy from you? People are not just going to come to you for just that one product. They're going to come to you and want more. So how are you making their life easy by making yourself a one-stop place based on the solutions that you provide? And once you're there, ask AI how to keep these customers that you have found. You want to retain them so much that they become loyal fans. You now get, a few analytics and make the experience so personalized for them that they don't want to go anywhere else. And if you've got many products, try and upsell them to as many of your products as possible, because that way you're literally making their lives easier. And now we've come full circle. I just wanted you guys to know marketing is no longer about chasing algorithms or things of that nature. We now need to embrace the humanity in us. That the machines have come and they've taken over. Now it's time for us people to literally show our customers that we love them. And if we can do that, they will definitely bid a path through our proverbial online doors. We want to ensure that all our content that we're creating resonates with the audience because we've taken the time to really understand them. And while everybody else is running to learn the next gadget, take yourself inward, start reading, understanding yourself, really understanding your human potential, because most of the searching that a lot of people are doing, or the what people are yearning for, is all about their health, their wealth, and their relationships. And if you can educate yourself, you will now have so much content that people will be able to learn from you. And it's easy for you to keep disseminating this information out there. And you start personalizing their experiences. You start really making sure that people love what you're talking about. You now have efficient processes. All of that is search engine optimization, if you ask me. It's not just with the keywords or whatever it is. It's just the overall upkeep of our books, our business, our websites, everything that we're putting out there. All right. I never really venture a lot into the tools. I think Nick has done a really good job, but we've got a website. I will give you that link to that website where we just keep updating all the apps that we are sort of using within the business. All right. So if you ask me, we're going back to the future, guys. We literally now need to go back where we all started, the cradle. How do we shake people's hands? How do we hug people? How do we smile? And we can now do that at scale using the tools that artificial intelligence has brought to us. So as sites like Google keep changing the way they index and then present information to us, you must just change how you present yourself to your audience. And guess what? The algorithm will find you because people are out there searching for what it is that you're doing. Let's stop chasing the algorithm and let's start creating for and relating to our audience. Just stay discoverable and become very approachable. Start testing and implementing what suits you, because if you burn out, then hey, Paul is there. He's yearning for business. Trends come and go, and I think AI is one of those. Right now, we just need to show up in our best versions, find the right kind of people with the right kind of pain, give them the products that gives them the right payoff. And if you ask me, guys, I think that's what really search engine is all about. It's no longer an engine that we need to optimize for. We just need to optimize ourselves, really. And then AI will catch up to us. If I'm wrong, then maybe I won't be in business in the next 10 or so years, but I doubt that. I'm not even on Facebook right now. I only have LinkedIn. I only came on LinkedIn because I wanted to see what people were doing with AI. So find that one thing that you're really good at. If you're good at talking, create a podcast. If you're good at writing, stay on the blogs. If you're good at video, show up on videos like this. Because at the end of the day, our customers are searching for people to hold their hand and walk them home. But if you're going to be too tired chasing every other algorithm that hasn't figured itself out, I don't know what you guys are going to do with this information today. Thanks, Nick.
Awesome. What are you going to do with the information? What a sensational presentation. That was so good, and it was totally unexpected. So in a great way. So I think, often people think that is this savior and this salvation of not actually having to do any work anymore. But really what you've introduced is the fact that human relationships are where we need to go with it all. So absolute gold. Anyone got any burning questions? Lots of good comments in the chat there. So obviously it resonated with everyone here. Excellent. Perfect. Any questions there at all? If you've got any questions, drop it into chat. I know we've just gone slightly over time, which is all good. Everyone's here. All right. Well, I think if there's no questions, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So first of all, obviously, it will be remiss for me not to be findable on the Google, since SEO is my thing. So just remember my name, Prosper, and the company that I represent is Live Long Digital. So Live Long and Prosper. So look up those two on Google. You'll be able to find me. Just on LinkedIn, my name is spelled the very same way, Prosper Taruvinga. And I think I'm the only one. If not, look for the guy with the funny gap in his tooth. You won't miss me. So yeah. And if there's a dentist here, please don't call me, because I've got it figured out. I'm not.
Fabulous. Excellent.
Yeah,
well, mate, really appreciate your time here, particularly since you've got some young kids there as well who they haven't burst into the room tonight. That sometimes happens when we've got guest speakers on. So, but you do have a door prize for us tonight. But first of all, before we get into that, show of hands, who'd like to have someone like Prosper, well, not someone like, in fact, Prosper himself, come and have a look at their online presence and see how they can improve it. Give us a show of hands. If you like, there's 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands. I didn't even know Paul had 4 hands. But anyway, they're all up there. So, all right, well, the door prize tonight, you are going to sort of love this. What is it, Prosper?
So I'm basically going to be looking at your online presence, what it is that you are doing online, how we can improve it, and I will actually create for you a strategy that you can literally go start working on, so that you don't have any false starts. And it's usually valued at 450, but yeah, I'm giving this away today so that you can have a really good start to 2024.
Fabulous. Now is not the time to whip off to the loo, because we're about to draw it. You need to be in the room to win it. So let's get our wheel of names up. We've got everybody's name in here. We are going to spin it, and it's going to land on one lucky person. So let's give us a virtual drum roll, please, while this thing spins around. And look, it's passing sort of everybody's name, and our lucky winner is Anthony Tupper with a security business. Absolutely fantastic. Are you here, Anthony? Mate, I can see you there waving, sort of madly looking for that unmute button.
Oh, that's great. I need some help.
Excellent. Well, hasn't it been worth coming on to all of these sessions? So tonight, you've finally won that prize, and it's a good one as well.
Yes.
So what we'll do, fabulous. What we'll do is we will introduce you to by email tomorrow. So we'll sort of send out an email and connect you, and that way there you can organise, when to get together and how to make this happen. So if you've enjoyed tonight, well, the good news is that we have recorded this. I know a couple of people had to duck off early. We have recorded it. Is up, or it will be up on YouTube tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't subscribed to the Smash Go YouTube channel, now is a great time to do it. And when you do subscribe, there's a little bell there. If you click that little bell, then you'll get a notification as soon as this has been uploaded. Don't keep it a secret. If you've liked it and you know someone else would enjoy it as well too, feel free to share it with them. Let them know it's there. And also you can invite them to come along to these sessions as well too. And of course, if you are not a member of the Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook group, again, this is a good time to go and join that as well. Hop onto Facebook, go and find Business Owners Smashing It Online, and we will let you in the door. Of course, all those apps and tools will be in there, plus all of the ones that are in the past as well too. All right, well, that is our session for tonight. So once again, let's give Prosper an enormous round of silent applause on our Zoom screens. It's always a bit weird seeing these hands just go like this, but no sound coming out. But really do appreciate your time tonight, Prosper. And for everyone else here, thanks for coming along tonight. I know it's been worthwhile for you, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.